Before existence, before that tremendous bang, there was nothing, and with nothing comes the darkness. Darkness is a void, and in that void, there was one being, a being called X, and it hungers for something. 10:30 AM, December 1st, 0 ME, South Island, Green Hill Zone. Meanwhile, in the luscious green fields of Green Hill Zone, the flowers and palm trees dance to the vibrance of nature. Sonic runs through the zone with a smile on his face, as a calming breeze brushes through his quills. Life couldn't get any better than this, could it? The Blue Hedgehog reminisces about the adventures he was once on, and how peaceful Mobius has been lately. This makes Sonic extremely bored, and feels as if something should happen to shake things up a bit. The Blue Below should be very careful for what he wishes for, because it might actually come true. Karma is going to come and collect Sonic's debt. If it's action Sonic wants, it's action he'll get. Suddenly, the ground around the hedgehog shook with such tremendous intensity, Sonic is forced to stop as the rumbling intensifies.
Whoa!
Sonic uttered with shock in his tone. The earthquake abruptly stops, which leads to confusion and curiosity. Even so, Sonic the Hedgehog isn't a curious type, and doesn't let the thought linger in his mind.
What was that?
Sonic looks around.
That's strange. I might have to share this with Tails. After my run first.
However, behind the hedgehog, in the sky, a dimensional beam rips the sky apart with its massive beast-like claws. This creates a rift within the Mobius strip. A massive grin reveals itself within the void. Sonic continues on his merry way, not knowing what is in stock for the Blue Hedgehog. With a smile on his face, he remains ignorant to the danger behind him. A creepy and distorted voice plays in Sonic's head. The Blue Hedgehog's pupils roll to the back of his head, his eyes begin to darken and his vision blurs. All Sonic could hear is an ear-piercing ringing in his ears, which disorientated him. The hedgehog's head throbs, to which he falls to the ground with a soft thud. Sonic attempts to grasp back to his consciousness, but the light from his eyes fade.
Sleep,
the entity says. Sonic loses consciousness and falls to the might of the void. In Sonic the Hedgehog's subconscious mind, the Blue Hedgehog stands on a black bottomless floor. The darkness surrounds him like an overwhelming force. Sonic's hand twitches as his eyes slowly open. Sonic regains consciousness and opens his eyes fully. His eyes appear to be completely white in color.
What? Where am I?
Sonic stated, his voice echoing against the pocket dimension's walls. Suddenly, a dark burst of dark matter energy smashes against Sonic's face, which catches his attention. The Blue Hedgehog blocks the overflowing dark energy. A wide grin with sharp piercing X-shaped glare stares the little rodent down.
Greetings, Sonic the Hedgehog,
said the void. Sonic takes 2 steps back and gets into a fighting stance.
Who are you, and what are you doing inside my mind?
The Blue Hedgehog stated angrily.
What a powerful, inhabitable body you have. This will take a long time, but it's not impossible.
The entity quoted in a very unsettling tone. Sonic felt his anxiety peak. The only thing he knew what to do was to run away for now. Maybe the Star Pulse will help him. 10:33 AM, South Island, Green Hill Zone. The Blue Hedgehog awoke standing upright, his eyes suddenly opened with such intensity. Sonic knew that there was no more time to waste. He travelled at top speed to the nearest star post. Will he make it in time? Sonic rushes across the landscape of Green Hill, tearing up dirt with his signature speed. He can feel the void creeping up on him, having that feeling like something is behind you, but this thing isn't chasing the Blue Hedgehog. The entity found a way inside of Sonic's subconscious. He felt his mental state slipping into insanity. Sonic's head throbs in pain. It's not some ordinary migraine, but something even worse. In the distance, Sonic spotted a star post near a loop-de-loop, knowing it might be his only chance of getting this thing out of his mind. A sweat rolls down his fur as Sonic races to the star post. A determined look appears on Sonic's face. Finally, making it to the loop-de-loop, Sonic travels through the loop. Grinding his teeth, he only makes it a full quarter of the way there, until he feels something pulling him back with such incredible force. Sonic sweats obsessively. It's no use though. The void entity has already taken on his form. Sonic feels his life slipping away from him.
There is nowhere to hide. Nowhere to go.
X says in a sadistic and disturbing tone. Sonic attempts to run away, only having a few meters left. Maybe he'll make it. The Hedgehog struggles to fight for control. However, from behind, X looms tall and crooked over him like a beast attacking its prey. He grabs Sonic's head tightly, but suddenly, he vanishes without a trace. The blue hedgehog squints his eyes as black tears run down his eyelids. Sonic wipes his right eye to reveal the black liquid, indicating that he was just too late. Sonic clenches his cheekbones while grinding his teeth in agony. His teeth begin growing sharper and his body turning feral.
No!
Sonic screamed out in damnation. Whatever bit of him existed was now gone. What is there now is a crooked grin. Something Mobius's hero would never do without a valid reason. Sonic was only inches away from the star pulse, but he was too late. X has a firm grip on the blue hedgehog's body. 12:35 p.m. Westside Island, Emerald Hill Zone. Tails' workshop. Tails is seen painting Sonic's tornado biplane blue.
Man, Sonic's gonna love what I did to his plane.
Tails says with a bright smile. Suddenly, Tails' computer beeps, which catches the fox cub's attention. Tails walks over to his office and checks out the newly sent message. It was a voice message. Miles played the message.
Yo, pal. I need your help with some badniks. Mind giving me a hand?
Tails leans onto the desk and took a deep sigh. Something didn't seem right to him.
Why would Sonic send the voice message over some small-time badniks? If it were urgent, he would have called me instead. Something is fishy about this. Maybe Sonic is being harmed in some way. I better go then.
Tails said as he placed his hand on his chin, deep in thought. Miles gets onto his blue tornado biplane and opens the secondary roller doors, where the runway appears. Tails starts the engines, the propeller slowly starting up. The tornado moves out of his workshop and onto the runway. Tails speeds up the biplane, which takes off to South Island. 1:42 p.m. South Island, Green Hill Zone. Miles Tails Prower approaches South Island. He watches the crimson clouds that loom over the many zones of the island.
Those clouds. This isn't normal at all.
Tails says to himself. Miles lands the biplane in Green Hill Zone. He jumps out of the cockpit and grabs his wristwatch.
Sonic must be 200 meters west.
Tails says as he takes off with his twin tails spinning. Moments later, Tails flies high above and spots the hero Mobius, landing a meter apart from him. Sonic has his arms crossed with a smug grin. Miles' tails begin to fuzz up, acting as a warning sign for things to come.
The fun has only just begun.
A aura of uneasiness looms over the two individuals. A sweat rolls down Tails' forehead as he puts his hand out to touch Sonic's shoulder. His best friend's face twitches sporadically.
Sonic?
Tails said worryingly. Black mist surrounds the two of them.
Tails, let's...
Sonic turns around, facing Tails, and stands on his tippy toes, standing creepily over the fox.
play.
Sonic reveals himself to Tails as X, while his grin widens with satisfaction.
Game.
X gets into Miles' face, revealing his piercing red eyes, blue-coloured fur, sharp yellow teeth bearing a treasure-shaped grin, chubby torso build with an round stomach outlined with an X implanted within it, grey shoes replacing the red shoes from before, and with blood all over his body. Tails looks upon the strange abomination with terror filling within his veins. Miles collects himself, realising that this isn't his friend anymore.
What fun. What infinite fun.
X teleports behind Tails within seconds. Miles turns around, but it's far too late for that. The void grabs two ends of Tails' body, the back of his head and right leg, gripping them firmly. He proceeds to rip him apart with little effort. Blood splashes out like a fountain at a park. X laughs as he throws the other half of his body to the ground and firmly holds Tails' severed head to the sky as blood seeps from Tails' eyes and neck. The EXE dangles his spine in satisfaction.
This here will be you, Chaos Lords. Better look out, because I'm coming for you.
Heaven Realm Zone. A golden hedgehog materializes into an all-white area. Its aura sparkles with chaos energy. That very energy is intertwining with the environment. His quills stay motionless while floating through the endless dimension. Sonic drifts and eventually bumps into another entity.
What is he doing outside of his native reality?
The entity states. To be continued. And that's the end of the podcast. The voice of Sonic was Delvin. Voice of X 2011 is Dylan. Voice of Tails, Elvis. Voice of Chaos Lord, Josh. Artwork made by Cold Trilogy. Original story made by Joshua Maguire and Dev Arts. Based on the epic comic Sonic Execution. All sound effects are owned by their respective owners. Thank you so much for listening.